Did you ever think also that you would become like this mentor slash, coach, such a, with that also a big responsibility too, having people to look to you for advice and often issues with, when it comes down to it. How does that feel on you to have that type of responsibility for the last several years?
Not to get too personal, but when I grew up, I kind of grew up in like a broken home type of situation. I was the youngest person in my family, and my mother worked very hard, but I was raised in a single parent household. So a lot of the times she was at work and I was kind of left by myself to watch everyone around me fuck up. And I never imagined being in the position that I am now, but I'll never take for granted, that position. And there was somebody that's not around anymore, and for good reason. I remember that there was a period of time that I got injured, and then he went on social media and was flagging himself as a locker room leader. Nobody ever goes out and tells anybody that they're a locker room leader.
Yeah.
Right? That's not something that you put on an 8x10 to try to sell merchandise and shit.
Yeah.
And even today, I would never tell that to anybody on my own, but the fact that people say it about me, I will never jeopardize that trust that people have in me. And it's a lot of work sometimes, but at the same time, I know I can do something to change the way that things are now, and I will fight. And if it's a hill that I have to die on, I'll die on the hill. But everyone deserves to be happy in life, especially in what we're doing, because man, we're having fun, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes it gets hard because we all expect more of ourselves and things of that nature. And in times where people need help, I offer them help. And in times where people need to hold themselves accountable, I might do it for them. But it's always because I want them to be better, not just in wrestling, but as people.
For sure. Yeah. A lot of times, man, in our industry, there was a lot of situations where, people didn't necessarily, have the right wherewithal to do the right thing. And I think now for our current crop and for our current situation, we want to make sure that everyone's got, a good head on their shoulders to conduct good business, because we don't want to hear that stuff anymore. We don't want those type of things happening in the locker room. So, it's good to have someone like you watching the helm who really gives a shit about what we're doing and how, because, a lot of times people, are doing things for themselves. And I think to have that, better protection for the business and for people and for good people, it goes a long way, because it just makes everything easier when you're trying to do stuff,
1,000%. And talent's not exclusive to good people.
Yeah.
But just because you're not a good person doesn't mean that somebody doesn't have the right to call you out on your bullshit. And I give a lot of people headaches, and I have no problem with that, because they give me headaches too. So if I'm the fucking Advil, I'll be the Advil. I have no problem with that.